Speaking on behalf of the class of 2012 are Miss Tara Mahan and Mr. Matthew Sauer.
Good afternoon, Hazard High School, family, friends, esteemed colleagues, grandparents, great-grandparents, brothers, sisters, pets, third cousins, estranged uncles. And if you fit into none of those categories, I don't know why you're here. But welcome anyway. Today is Sunday, June 3rd, 2012, and these are not the morning announcements. That is going to be one tough routine to break. If I ever have to tell someone what day it is ever again, I fear that I will automatically divulge to them all about sports physicals and periodic peer-to-peer pizza parties, which is incredibly fun to say, but not necessarily relevant. But if I did have just one announcement for you today, it would be that today is graduation. You didn't see that one coming, did you? No, but it is. Did it right? That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing here today. High school has led to this moment right here. We learned as freshmen what to do, what not to do, and how things could be done differently. Throughout our high school career, we have remained dedicated to always putting forth our best efforts in everything, to being leaders in all that we do, to looking out for those peers younger than us, and always, always texting, tweeting, and frivolously downing cups of caffeine while doing said things. However, life was not always this sweet bliss that we have come to know and cherish. In fact, Tara and I would like to invite you to remember a simpler, more intelligible era when we were still humble, gracious, and less than 3 feet tall.
That's right, we're going all the way back to kindergarten. Back when your biggest cause of stress was what you were going to bring for snack time. Making sure to spell cat with a C and not an A.
I struggled with that one. You know, for me, kindergarten was actually meant to be physically and emotionally scarring. All I remember, before I blacked out from severe weeping, was that I one day accidentally knocked over the ant farm, single-handedly killing every living being within it. It was devastating.
Clearly, kindergarten was a really tough time for you. I personally had a fabulous time in kindergarten in Miss Schumacher's AM class. But my favorite part was definitely participating on the high-risk soccer team. Despite the fact that I spent most of the games picking dandelions and practicing my cartwheels, I was first introduced to the aspect of a team, which is something I carried with me all throughout high school.
Now, Hyra, that's a memory for me, little known to anyone. I was quite the child prodigy when it came to athletics. No, wait, that wasn't. You know, I played t-ball for an entire season and had a batting average of -703, and that's keeping my ball doesn't move. Ever. I also participated in a week-long basketball camp where I was told I shot like a girl, promptly persuading me out of athletics for the better part of forever.
But I have to admit, my biggest triumph in kindergarten, besides athletics, was my wardrobe, definitely. 90% of the time was spent in some form of an overall, and the other 10% of the time was spent in Halloween costumes of years past that my mom, for some reason or another, let me leave the house.
Well, overall, I've got 3 symbols for you. Knee-high socks until 5th grade. Although I did have one shining moment in kindergarten, and that was when I bought my alarm clock for show and tell. It would be only years later that I would realize that alarm clocks are not nearly as rare or exciting as I once perceived them to be.
Well, I feel like we have kindergarten pretty well covered, so we can move on to 1st grade.
You know, I don't remember a whole lot about 1st grade except that we had a really long unit on whales. Like, the unit was as long as like a blue whale, which, if you remember from that, was the largest whale. I love whales.
I actually speak of whale. I learned from the very educational motion picture, Finding Nemo.
Yeah, I can tell you. Moving on, we have Murphy!
And there might have been another school, but we don't have time, so.
No, we really don't.
I guess maybe not. Sorry, I'm not sorry.
Yeah, I'm sure Ronnie was just fine. But elementary school, as I remember filled with student council-endorsed popcorn dates, Monday morning meetings, and beautiful, graceful, elegant aquatic fowl that once a year found solace in the...
They were called ducks. Yeah, just ducks.
Well, they were there. They were really cool. Well, what about elementary school do you remember this one?
I have to say my favorite part of elementary was when my 4th grade reading circle wrote and performed the critically acclaimed and internationally renowned Helen Keller opera. A masterpiece in 5 movements on all that was and is Helen Keller. And besides dressing up as Anne Sullivan in said opera, I also dressed up as many other things on quite possibly the best day in the calendar year for anyone under the age of 10, Halloween.
I really finally recall my experience with Halloween. What were you? Let's recap.
Okay, 2nd grade, I was a spider queen.
And I was the crocodile hunter.
Okay. 3rd, I was a hippie.
And I was the crocodile hunter.
Not so original. All right. 4th, I was a Spartan cheerleader.
I was a ninja. No, wait, I was the crocodile hunter.
And in 5th grade, to end things with a dramatic twist, I regrettably dressed as a man with a mullet, nonetheless.
That's embarrassing.
It was.
No, for 5th grade, I was Steve Irwin, who is also more commonly known as the crocodile hunter.
I think you were a little obsessed.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. But even from early on, from Halloween costumes and other things, it was very evident that boys and girls are quite different.
Unless they dress like one another.
That was great.
That was fine. Well, even amidst those differences, both genders, I think, can probably agree on one thing as we look back on our years together, and that is that middle school was terrible. At least terribly awkward. That's all I meant by that.
But that's not to say that the teachers were not absolutely wonderful.
Because they were.
They definitely were. But let's sum up middle school, more superficial aspects, with a few key phrases.
Dirt stashes.
And to top off that with braces,
Baby fat.
gaucho pants,
A great diversity of gel hairstyles.
and slick back ponytails parted right down the center.
Although clearly we found each other attractive, judging by our propensity to date a new person every 3 hours or thereabouts.
Middle school was a time when we abandoned our marriages and elementary school playgrounds and traded them in for something far worse. Having your friends dictate your romantic life and hearing that your relationship was over secondhand.
Yeah, that sounds. Although what made middle school bearable for me, at least, was we had the Bunknuts game, we had Cedar Point, and I gleefully enjoyed Mr. Seck plotting the downfall of innocent 6th graders who surpassed the hallway speed limit on the way to lunch. In fact, I learned that there is nothing more satisfying than hearing the dull thud of an unsuspecting student running right into a door.
Now that we have the ups and downs of middle school covered, we can move on to the most recent and final chapter of our time here at Hazlet Public Schools, high school.
You know, I think the biggest thing that we can say about high school is that it literally flew by. It seems like it was just Thursday when we were gallivanting through the halls in our senior run, tears in our eyes, dreams in our hearts, looking forward to a bigger and brighter future, saying our last goodbyes.
Matt, what's last Thursday?
Well, it didn't go by fast at all, did it? Okay.
I mean, not exactly. We had 4 homecomings, 2 proms, hundreds if not thousands of tests, meets, games, concerts, competitions, to all end here at graduation. And looking back on my 13 years, I can't help but feel blessed. We have all been fortunate to have wonderful teachers and staff willing to work overtime to help anyone in need of help, not only in school-related things, but anything in life. In addition to unparalleled faculty, our class in general is one that will not soon be forgotten. We leave behind a legacy not only in academic excellence, but in sports, choir, band, PALS, art, link, quiz bowl, Science Olympiad, Vision 22, and countless others. And although it's wonderful to reminisce, graduation is also looking to the future. I know that this graduating class will accomplish great things as we move forward thanks to the unwavering support from our teachers, staff, school board, family, friends, and community as a whole. You ensured our success, and we are forever grateful. As we celebrate today and take the first steps towards our shining futures, we would both like to wish all of our classmates the best of luck and every happiness. Congratulations, class of 2012.